Hi everybody, it's Charles again with an entry for the 17th of May. It was a Saturday. Um, Basically this is going to be kind of my topic is going to be about swearing. Um, Basically I realized that, I swear a lot. Well, I'm not going to go into like the deep depths of what I think about swearing and everything. I'm just going to say a quick little video that I know that I say the F word a lot. It has been brought to my attention a lot. Um, I'm not exactly sure why I do it. I think it's just like it's worked itself into my vocabulary. It's kind of like it's a word that I use for emphasis. It was a fucking big, car or whatever. I was a fucking big steak. So it's kind of like, if I just said, it's a big steak, you'd be like, oh, it was a big steak. But no, if I say fucking big, you're like, oh, that was a fucking big steak. And so I use it for emphasis. And I also use it, this fucking guy like this. It's also used to mean like, an emphasis on like it being like shitty, kind of or like, extraordinary a little bit. Or this fucker, this asshole. So it's universal, You can use that shit in so many different places. But I realized that I started to use it in replacement when some people say like this, big guy, I say fucking, this fucking big guy. It's just like it's like a pause break for me now because I've grown so like uncaring about swearing in my normal life. Obviously I work in retail, so I'm not just like, yo, let me get those fucking batteries for you. Let me check fucking downstairs, see if you got that fucking stuff. I don't do that. But just when I'm like relaxing or in my normal life, say like, pass me that fucking Coke or something like that, I'll take a fucking Pepsi. I mean, granted, because everybody that I hang around with is usually, pretty old. I mean, and if I do hang around with any kids, the parents are dropping more F bombs than I could possibly drop, or the kids are too young to really pick up on it. If you're talking, if you're around like a baby who's still in like, the little like car seat or the little like bassinet thing, then they're not picking up anything. You can straight up drop F bombs all day and they're not gonna remember that shit. But I've realized that it's not a good habit to have, and it kind of makes my videos not as entertaining and not as good. I think if 90% of the words that I say are fucking and fucker and fuck this and fuck that, so I'm going to try and clean it up a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to give up swearing. I It's not that I enjoy swearing. It's just that they're words that I use for emphasis. That really I think feel like get the point across. Obviously sometimes they are like douchey and like I've been going overboard with it. And it is kind of douchey and it is kind of stupid. It makes me seem more like a little brow and like lower class and lowerly educated. Um, if all I can say is fuck this and fuck that, then I'm not getting my point across as well as I should. Um, but like I said, I don't want to give up swearing because it's more natural for me to swear. Because those are words that I normally use. I mean, I don't want to start to have to really like change the way that I operate or anything in order to make videos. Because this is just I'm not getting anything from this other than just talking shit out. It's not like I'm not making any money. I'm not yeah, this is kind of therapeutic for me, but I'm not having like earth shattering like breakthroughs or anything like that. So it's all just for fun. So I mean, I don't really want to have to like really put that much effort into changing the way I interact. Because like I said, I want it to be natural for me. But so I obviously don't want to give up swearing. So when I was a kid, I used to watch this pirate TV show or pirate cartoon show that had swearing in it. And so obviously when I was a kid, my parents didn't want, when you're a kid and you swear around your friends, be a big shot, act cool, But when you're around your parents and like your family, you don't drop the F-bombs. Maybe you do in some households, but I didn't. I wanted to be perceived as like a good boy. Plus, my parents probably would have been heated, so I, I used to use the pirate swear words um, that I learned from the cartoon, and my brother thought it was freaking hilarious. But so now that I think about it, I've decided that I'm going to create my own swear word and also my own swear maneuver. I remember watching an episode of Friends, and I think it was Ross Geller and Monica Geller. Ross wanted to he wanted to like give the finger, but he didn't want to give the finger to his parents because they would get heated. So he made this move. I think it was like or something like that that indicated that he was giving the finger without actually having to give the finger, because he would have gotten in trouble for giving the finger. So he made the move, and so it was like understood by his friends and family that he was giving the finger without actually giving it. So I kind of like that, but obviously I don't want to copy the move. So I'm still in the brainstorming session, but I was thinking of something along the lines of this. But I'm not sure if I want to draw that much attention to myself. Like, obviously, if I'm talking to somebody and they give me a hard time and I just absentmindedly go, they're going to realize something's a little bit up. Plus, I mean, it could mean something else. And usually when somebody makes aggressive slapping or clapping noises, people infer that, you're kind of telling them off. It's not as big a maneuver as like like a that or like a this or something like that. But people would see this and realize that I am making some kind of inference towards them. I mean, granted, that might not be the worst case. Obviously, if I'm displeased, But then again, I don't want people to blow up based upon the fact that I go like this. But so I'm not sure if that'll be it. I mean, I am leaning towards that because I do like the motion of it, but we'll see. Second off, I'm thinking of my swear word, and I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be. I was thinking about chickled. Just I was thinking about chickled because it's just I don't think it means anything else. I mean, obviously, before I decide on a word, I'm going to scour the hell out of Webster's dictionary, the medical dictionary, and like the Urban Dictionary, just to see if it means anything. But chickled is a good one that I like. I just like the way it sounds. But the ch noise is kind of hard to make. So if I try and like work in the conversation, it'd be like, and then I went to the store and I chickled, because then you have to like totally like kind of reverse the sounds that you're making, because ch is a hard sound to make. You have to kind of like reverse the way you're talking. So it's not. The reason I say the fucking word so much is because I can just be like, yeah, I went to the store and then I fucking went this, and then, so I can say it quickly. But then it was like, yeah, I went to the store and then chickled. See, when you say ch, it's harder to say than fuck. So I realize that's part of the reason why I say the F word so much, because it's so convenient, when you're talking. So I'm kind of leaning away from chickled. I'm kind of thinking about like a fackled or something like that. I was, fackled last night or something like that. I don't want it to sound too much like fucking or even frackin', which was the swear word used in Battlestar Galactica. Which I got to give props to that show. That show made its own swear word, and fucking, that kind of like creativeness, I think is really cool. So I'm not sure if fackled is going to be it, or like I said, it's kind of leaning away from chickled, even though I don't like it the way it sounds. I obviously don't want it to sound like a normal word, So I'm trying to figure things out. I'm just obviously just making up words to create some kind of like a secret code between myself and maybe my close friends who actually, I get to know me and who spend a lot of time with me. I mean, it's all pretty much nonsense, which is pretty much what I'm doing here. Like, I'm not, I'm not creating like time capsule moments that people in like 200 years are gonna look back and just like, oh shit, dude, this is what they were doing there. This is what they were doing in 2014. You know, this is what they were fucking doing. It's not that kind of stuff. Like I talked about, or I took a college course that looked at like first person accounts and like eyewitness testimonies of like years and years ago, like hundreds of years ago, and they were talking about like the legitimacy of the testimony and how real it was, and how much embellishment there was. And I mean, these are fucking these are boring ass little archives that I make to myself pretty much, or maybe some close friends. So I mean, I don't think people are going to be studying these. I don't think they're going to be kids in like college in 200 years just looking at these videos and looking at me make an ass out of myself. I mean, obviously there's going to be a shitload more footage, and testimony than there will have been, 200 years ago, because there's a lot more ways to record and store media now than there were back then. Store media and information, I should say. Back then, there was pretty much just, what, fucking art and like, writing, or the printing press or something like that. I mean, now there's the internet, there's digital media, CDs, discs, there jump drives, DVDs. There are all different ways to store video even. So now it's not like you have to read for really hard in order to get the exact picture. Now you can just legit see that shit in like fucking moving photographs and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, back to my point. I'm trying to figure out the swear moves. Like I said, I like this one. So that might be it. But I also want to swear a word, but I can't figure it out, or I can't decide yet. Obviously, I might make a series of words, or I might, make maybe even like a small vocab or something like that. Like, I mean, I'm not sure who knows this, but I work at Walgreens. Obviously, most people know that, but I'm not sure who knows this. But I wanted to create like a hand sign for where I work, so I was playing around with that. I mean, I equated it kind of to like a gang sign, but I kind of wanted it to be like a clubby thing, not like an exclusionary clubby thing, but kind of like if I see one of my coworkers on the street, I could flash it just for the hell of it, just for shits and giggles, pretty much, just for something to do. Because you spend hours and hours and hours and hours with these people every week, so it's just like how do you alleviate the boredom? You just pretty much fucking. What I do is I just think of outlandish things to do, or just to talk about with people. I mean, obviously, I walk the sexual harassment line, and I'm not just like, so who had intercourse last night? Who got down with the boyfriend slash husband, slash lover or whatever? I don't do that shit because I'm not trying to get pinched for sexual harassment or something like that. But most people in there, they're not uptight and they're pretty cool, so you can pretty much have like a normal like a friendly conversation with them. I mean, I'm not just like fucking, zoning in like 100% Walgreens. I'm just like, I had some chowder last night. It upset my stomach. I spent 2 hours in the bathroom. Like, that's like a legit conversation that I've probably had with numerous people at work before. Maybe not chowder, but you get the picture. I mean, I feel like when obviously, the people at work, they're not your close friends. Some of them have become my close friends, but people at work, you have to be a little bit careful because you get on friendly terms with them, but there's still like kind of like there's obviously still a work environment, and you have to be very careful that you don't offend them or anything, because you offend a friend, you kind of step out of it. Maybe you don't see them a while, or maybe if it's bad enough, you break apart, and then or maybe hopefully you apologize, and then that's the end of it, and then you can continue hanging out. But I mean, if that friend is mad at you, it doesn't affect anything other than that friendship. But if somebody at work gets mad at me, or I do something stupid at work, then that person's mad at me. Depending upon what I did, that could drastically affect my work life, which is where I make my money, and I need that money. Obviously, I mean, you know, I need it more for just rent and shit because I need my medical insurance now. So obviously, I don't want to, you know, I don't want, you know, sour grapes to affect my work because it's a lot more, you know, important. That's why a lot of people say don't date in the workplace, you know, don't become friends with your employees, yada yada. I mean, I don't believe that. I mean, I try and be cool with everybody, but you do have to keep a little bit of a distance until you know, you really understand, you know, that people understand that, you know, that who I am and, you know, like what I think and stuff like that. Like, the hard thing I think is that, you know, a lot of supervisors have told me, like, dude, you can be close to your employees, but always remember that there's like, if you're a manager, you have to, you know, tell them what to do. Like, you have to be able to separate the friendship and you have to be able to separate the manager thing. And I try to understand that. Like, people who I work with that hang out with me understand that I'm one of the most laid back people off of work. You know, I'm like a jellyfish. I got no bones. I'm just laying down there. You know, if you go to a restaurant, I'm half asleep. But at work, you know, I'm a lot different because I bring, you know, a lot more energy to work, and I don't feel as relaxed. I'm a lot more tense at work because at work, all I do is freaking, you know, shoot down enemy targets by solving their problems. But yeah, I mean, it's getting beside the point. You know, I like to create kind of a unity there. Um, but yeah, I mean, maybe I'll talk about fucking work morale and shit in a different video. You know, if I continue to make these videos for however long I do, I mean, I'm gonna need a shitload of topics to talk about. So fucking, when I postpone something, I'll get around to it eventually. But like I said, I'm trying to create, you know, a ulterior words for other words for, you know, the F word, because it's been pointed out that I used it. Apparently, I used it 100 and something times per video. I'm not sure how accurate the count is, but I'm guessing it's pretty accurate. Because somebody else notified me that I used it like 10 times in like 2 sentences. So I think I need to cut that shit back. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm for everybody that gets, if anybody gets offended by my usage of the F word or cursing, I mean, I'm sorry. It's pretty much just the way that I am. I mean, in these videos, the F word, I probably use it, you know, just out of maybe a little bit of nervousness because I'm still getting a little bit, you know, I'm still getting used to the fact that I speak in front of a camera and then I upload that shit to the internet. I mean, I'm used to having my, you know, internal thoughts a lot more closed off, you know. So if, you know, I at work, I get heated at fucking everybody, you know, and fuck this place, fuck that, I hate this place, you know, I hate everybody. You know, that's something that I go home with, and that's fucking, you know, it affects me. But I, you know, I putz around my apartment, I slam a few things, and then eventually it wears off. Whereas with this, if I'm heated, I think it, you know, it'll show the night. Maybe I'll do a spiteful video, you know, fucking, you know, nobody helps you out in life, you're all alone. You know, everybody's working against you, man. Maybe one of those will come out. I don't know. But like I said, I'm used to having my internal thoughts a lot more just for myself. But I think this is good for me, you know, opening up a little bit, that kind of bullshit. But yeah, I mean, granted, I might never, you know, let my deepest, like, I'm not gonna like really pour my soul out. Like, I'm never just gonna be like, Jenny didn't say yes when I asked her out. I don't know why. Is it me or is it her? You know, I don't think I'm gonna have one of those moments. You know, I don't think there are ever gonna be any tears. You know, maybe if like fucking I'm still doing it and like my wife leaves me if I'm ever married or something. You know, big shit goes down and like I have a child that dies or something. Then maybe I'll shed some tears. But I mean, right now it's just, you know, it's me just fucking around in my normal daily life and me just, you know, getting angry legit. Like today I'm kind of angry at, you know, customers and, you know, maybe tomorrow I'll talk about it or some shit. But, you know, I do get angry and I do, you know, emotions do affect me. Things you know, if something drastic happens to somebody that I know about, you know, I do feel bad for them. So I'm not like some kind of fucking robot, like no emotions, you know. So I don't fucking, you know, just like I'm not Mr. Roboto up in this bitch, so things do affect me, you know, as much as my mood does not seem to change. You know, I am kind of, you know, narcissistically self-centered, so, you know, so shit goes on in other people's lives, and, you know, granted, I do feel bad for them, but, you know, that shit doesn't really affect me. I mean, obviously, if it's somebody really close to me, you know, it does affect me, but I mean, fucking, unfortunately, you know, like other things, you know, like, I mean, I feel bad that they happen, but my my circle of influence and people that influence me and people that I influence is not vast enough. You know, I'm not a social butterfly. I don't network well, so I'm very, you know, I'm very tight on, you know, who gets close to me and who I get close to. So my circle of influence is very, very tight. So a lot of shit that affects, you know, other people doesn't affect me. Um, Also, like I said, I'm very narcissistic and, you know, self-centered. So, you know, some shit happens to somebody else, and like, you know, 2 cities over, I'm thinking about like, I don't know those people, you know. Fucking, you know, that shit sucks, but you know, I gotta fucking struggle through Wilson's disease now. Like I can't, you know, go into a, you know, 3-week mourning period for him. You know, or I can't, you know, throw $50 their way in some kind of charity because, you know, I'm saving that $50 to give myself a house someday or something like that. There are people with who make, you know, thousands of dollars more than me that can, you know, throw $50 their way, hopefully. But that's probably just me being, you know, self-centered. But you know, so be it. Unfortunately, I got to be in this bitch for keeps. You know what I'm saying? Um, Obviously, you know, I try and do my part. You know, I try and, you know, if I see somebody fall on the street, I do my best to, you know, help them out. But I can't just, you know, willy-nilly do whatever the hell I want. You know, obviously I'd love to be able to, you know, you see some guy who looks pretty hungry on the street, I'd like to just be able to be like, hey, here's $20, go like, you know, go live it up for a little while or something like that. But no, I mean, fucking, I'm saving that $20 probably harder than that dude is, just because I have, you know, monetary goals and I want to buy my own house. That's my main goal in life, I think, is be happy and like own where I live, you know. But that's beside the point. This video is about swearing, and like I said, I'm gonna create my own swear vocabulary and my own curse movements. So with that being said, I'll see you later. That was intended to be a see you fuckers later, but I don't know if I've defined that yet. But anyways, thanks for listening. Take it easy. See you tonight.